Hey guys, I got another deck profile here today. This time of a local report for the charity event that we ran. I don't remember how many people we had. I think it was like 18 or 20 people for Konami's charity events, like I said. I decided to play Fire King Tri-Brigade this week instead of Fire King Sinful Spoils because everybody's playing that and it's just not interesting to look at anymore. And this is a little bit more fun at least. We'll probably get some more feature matches of next week's event. We're also doing another charity event for one of my friends from high school. She's in the hospital currently. So I'll put a post or GoFundMe page in the description. If you could just check it out or share it, or if you feel like donating $1 or $2, anything's appreciated. But like I said, I wanted to play Fire King Tri-Brigade, just have some fun with the deck, not taking it too seriously. And we'll just go on and get into it. Most of it's pretty standard, but I'm playing a very thin Tri-Brigade line, which I think is interesting. For the Fire Kings, still on 3 of Kieran. Cards absolutely broken for people who don't know. This is just a quick effect summon, but it's also really good to help you dodge targeted interaction like the Unchained cards and Imperms. It's just really strong. 3 Ponyx. Ponyx is insane. This is the reason why the deck's playable so much with the Sinful Spoil cards. In this particular version, I kind of wanted to cut it down to 2 or even 1 just because it's not as important to start like resource looping with it. Once you get to the 1, you'll always have it. So it was less important in this version, but I haven't actually played this list yet until today, so that's why there's still 3 of that. 2 Garunics, mandatory 2 of you. I would love to play 1. Just can't take the risk of it getting like banished off SP or DD Crow or anything like that. 2 Arvada, and then 1 Rangbali. These are the negates of the deck. I like the 2 Arvada just because it's the better of the 2. Monster effects are obviously better to negate, stops hand traps like Droll, Nib, and all that. But you can use this as an extender for the Tri-Brigade line. You can also just, in really simplified game states, these 2 will just like loop each other over and over again with Kieran. So it was nice just to have like that type of like control of the mid game. And then the last Fire King is just the 1 Barong engine requirement. For the Fire King spells, pretty simple line as well, nice and thin. 2 Island, 2 Sanctuary, and then 1 Skyburn. I wanted to play Circle because Circle is really cute, again with Imperm and the Tri-Brigades, being able to dodge the Imperm effects are really nice, but I'm already at 41, did not want to go to 42. So probably would tweak around something to make it 42, or keep it at 41, but have Circle. For the Tri-Brigades, 3 kit. This is the most important one to play at 3. This is the starter. With Garunix, you could destroy this with the Garunix and send Nerval, then get Fractal, and then you have another fire as well for you to play with either Fire Kings or the Tri-Brigade line. So for the rest of it, we got the 2 Fractal. I initially really wanted to play 3, but after playing tonight, this was just perfect at 2. I think I only lost 1 game tonight. Did I lose a game to you tonight? No? So, okay, so I didn't lose a game tonight. And the 3rd Fractal just never came up. And then the 2 1-ofs, these cards just are terrible to open. They only work with Fire King Island, and this one just doesn't do anything, but like sometimes you just overclog on Fire Kings. You just have a free way to extend. And then if you ever need the 2nd Nerval, Revolt will get it back and trigger it again. So there's no point to play more than 1. And then the 1 Revolt, the only reason to play that engine. For consistency, just 3 Tenki. The deck already loses really hard to Droll, so I kind of just decided to go all in on it. Doesn't matter if I'm going to lose to Droll at any point anyway. Might as well just, if they don't have it, I get the best value out of my cards. So that's why I decided to play 3 of it. In the Sinful Spoil versions, it makes sense to play 1 or 2 of this because Droll is more impactful in that version because you're sacrificing power with like the Tri-Brigade stuff in this version with just more consistency and like draw power in that version. But with this, like you're going to search this and maybe Revolt at most. But then just having too many consistency cards can also hurt. Because in the Sinful Spoil versions, you got the Pot of Prosperities too, so just being able to substitute with these is nice. And then the best part about this deck, well, one of them, is all the non-engine you get to play, and for these I'm just going to stack them up so you can see them all. So I decided to play 3 Ash, 3 Droll, 3 Imperm, and then 2 Valor, a Crow, and a Called By. So the idea with Crow is a searchable off Shurag. You can Shurag in the mid combo and get this if you know what you're playing against, or you can search Ponix or even Garunix. Valor just added extra hand traps to the deck. You could cut these two and like substitute more Tri-Brigades if you wanted to, but having a lot of like normal summonable hand traps is also really important because it gets you to a Link 1 fire monster that can start your Fire King plays. So having more level 1s is better than having overloaded like on Tri-Brigade names. And that's 41 for the extra, the 1 Farragut and 1 Bearbrum. There was a lot of times tonight where I actually wanted the second one of this. I don't own a double Dragon Lords because the guy refunded it for some reason because it went up by $1. So I don't have a double Dragon Lords, so I played Rugal instead. It never came up where like double Dragon Lords would have like won me the game. It just would have made it easier to get to that point. And then the 2 Shurag. I want to play 3 of this really bad. You can go turn 1 making this, linking to get more searching, and then you have a Revolt, and then you can follow up with another one. It's also really cute in this deck that you can keep a Shurag on the field, and then you summon Kirin, and it procs this again. So the 1 Shurag is probably getting 2 or 3 banishes, which is pretty crazy. For the other cards, we're playing Link Karibo, Almirage. This is important for Garunix and Kirin. This is important to dodge with Ponix, and is also a dark for Dark Charmer, and then the Fire Charmer, which help make these. Never made this card, so this can easily get cut for pretty much anything, but I definitely wanted to fit a second Little Knight in here too. And then Apollosa for the IP play. But your inboard with Tri-Brigade also usually ends this in Shurag, so it was nice to have her. And then the Exceeds, we're playing the 1 Garunix. Instead of playing 2, I'm playing Dingirsu. The diversity that gives you is much better than just having a second Garunix. There's really not much else that a second one of this provides, where this provides protection, destruction for Island, which is really important, but also is non-targeting sending a card, which can sometimes just be better than popping the whole board, because like indestructible effects, things like Dragoon, they still technically do exist, so it's better just to have like something like this as a just in case. And then Typhon, never made this card today, but every other time he's in my extra deck, he's pretty much the reason I win. This card's absurd. No Zeus is very popular. Or a lot of people play Zeus in this. I decided not to play Zeus because you lose your Fire King Island off of Zeus, and then you just lose your Zeus on top of that. So it felt really bad to make it. So I probably won't be playing that going forward, but I know I see a lot of people do it, and I understand where it's good when you don't have Island, but I don't like to prepare for game states where I'm already losing anyway, and then just try to capitalize on that. So for the side deck, it's very generic, very just like, thrown together quick. The 3 Bestials, this should just be a 3rd Druis Worm, but I don't know where mine's at. And then the Pankratops, best card in the side at the moment, and honestly almost main deck worthy in this current format. 3 Spellbound, this card is kind of crazy. Don't really need to explain it anymore. Pretty much everybody's already on this card, but this card is absolutely nuts. You should be playing it somewhere. This or at least Dark Ruler. This is really good against Unchained, which is a really weird matchup for this deck, because it really coin flips who the other, the person in control of the game is the opposite player, not the turn player. And it's really hard to play like that. So this card can function on both players' turns, which is really important to help change the texture of that game. 2 Power 1-ofs, Change of Heart, Duster. Change of Heart's really cool with a lot of the format right now. Playing things like SP Little Knight and like just Omni Negates, being able to link them off, or at least force the Omni Negate. And then if you have a fire that your opponent has, you can pop that with Kirin, and then you just like cleared a card, and then you got to keep comboing. Duster is what I played for back row, and I also played Evenly Match, which we'll get to here in a second for my back row out. Your battle phase doesn't matter in this deck, so the one time you get into the battle phase is all that matters, because your monster is so big. 3 Evenly just to clear out the floodgates. You hard lose to things like Shifter, So just having a card to equalize an entire board and then pass is really nice. And that's the only reason I think you should play a card like this at the moment. So like when they shifter you, you have this in your hand. They typically make a kind of weak board anyway, unless you're playing a deck like Excess Sister that doesn't just actually has no effect on them. So then you just clear the whole board and like they pass back to you on a weaker board and then you can play. So evenly, it works really well in this deck. And then these should have just been Skill Drain, but Skill Drain is just not fun to play with. I mean, this isn't fun to play with either, but this at least looks cooler. So I think it's the Dinosaur, and Dinosaurs are awesome. But that's it for the deck. Tri-Brigade is a very fun version. Next week, I'm probably going to play the Nadir version. If this video gets enough reception, we'll definitely profile Nadir and we'll profile Sinful Spoils, because I'm playing it a little bit differently, but it's still pretty much the same thing. So yeah, if you like the video, remember to comment, rate, subscribe, and like I said, check out the GoFundMe at the description if you can. Just sharing it or even looking at it means a lot. And that's it for today. Thanks for watching.